Aye. So what is going to be in this video is the quotient rule, which is another rule in which we can differentiate. So the quotient rule is for when you have two functions, but it's a quotient, which means division. So it's when one is dividing the other. So if I define this as y of x equal to f of x divided by g of x, then we can work out that the derivative is going to be f dashed x times g of x minus f of x g dashed x, all divided by g of x squared. Okay, so again, it's just it's just f of x's, g of x's, and then their derivatives. As long as you remember the process, then you'll be fine. Okay, so let's take these two examples. Got f of x, so let's call that f equal to x cubed, which means that f dashed is going to be 3x squared. We've got g equal to 2x plus 1, which means that g dashed is just going to equal 2. And then we just put that into our formula. Okay. So we're going to have differentiate the first, so we get 3x squared times 2x plus 1, because we're leaving the second, minus leave the first. Differentiate the second, all over g of x all squared. Okay? So we've got f dashed x equal to 3x squared 2x plus 1 minus 2x cubed all over 2x plus 1 squared. Okay. So we did another one. Let's prepare this to be differentiated first. Okay, so we can see that f is going to be x plus 1 to the half. So that means f dashed will be the derivative of that. So we get 1/2 x plus 1 to the negative a half times the derivative of it inside the brackets, which in this case is 1, so it just stays the same. You can see that g is going to be 2x, so g dashed will equal 2. So it's y this time, so we're going to have dy by dx. Differentiate the first, and we get 1/2 x plus 1 to the negative a half. Leave the second. Minus, leave the first. Differentiate the second. All over g of x all squared. Okay? And that isn't the neatest way of leaving it. So let's try and neaten it up a little bit. X plus 1 to the negative a half is actually just going to be 1 over 2, because it's a half there, x plus 1 to the half, with a 2x on top. Okay, so it's 2x times there, 2x on top, and then the 2x plus 1 to the half in the bottom, minus 2x plus 1 to the half, all over 2x all squared, which becomes 4x squared. That can cancel out. X over x plus 1 to the half minus 2 x plus 1 to the half all over 4x squared. And there we have the quotient rule. Okay, so that's for when you're differentiating a function divided by a function.